have a dream to run a marathon on every single continent, and a dream to impart good while doing so. In fact, I've already run marathons on 2 of the 7 continents, both in Europe and Florence, Italy, and here in America, I Florida. I'm scheduled to run my 3rd marathon on my 3rd continent this July in the Australian Outback. But perhaps even more importantly, I realized that by completing a marathon on every single continent provides me with a unique opportunity. An opportunity to do good for others. A platform to raise awareness for issues outside of our own peripherals. And a chance to raise funds for causes and charities in the various regions that I would support, that I would be visiting. And so in the months leading up to the Australian Outback Marathon, I created and launched my own personal blog, Running for a Cause. Now, the primary focus of this blog is to raise funds and awareness for charities in the regions that I'll be visiting, but also to allow my supporters to follow along in my training and travels. And in selecting a charity to support for the Australian Outback Marathon, it was important that I not only support the region I would be visiting, but also that the charity have wide appeal, something I could really rally behind and be passionate about. The Wilderness Society fit those needs. The Wilderness Society is an Australian charity dedicated to the preservation of the Australian wilderness and wildlife. They fight against land clearing and the destruction of habitats, and they work to protect many of Australia's unique, indigenous, vulnerable, and endangered species. Features like the koala, the bilby, and you may be asking yourself, why should I care about the Australian wilderness? Well, Australia is home to some of the most beautiful and magnificent, opulent nature on the planet, as well as many creatures that live nowhere else in the world. Sadly, however, Australia is also one of the worst countries when it comes to land clearing and destruction of their habitats. In the past 200 years, nearly half of the Australian forest has been cleared. In the past 200 years, more than 100 species have become extinct in the state of New South Wales alone, in a single state. 5,000 square kilometers, which is over 3,000 square miles of virgin bushland and advanced regrowth are cleared each year. And land clearing contributes to 14% of Australia's greenhouse gas emissions. And currently, 1,000 plant and animal species are currently at risk of extinction, including the koala. Now, these numbers paint a pretty grim picture, but it gets worse. Since 1990, 1/3 of the koala population has been wiped out due to habitat loss from their eucalyptus trees being cut down. Aside from land clearing, humans have still had a devastating impact on the environment. Prior to European settlement, the Bilby, which looks like a cross between a mouse and a rabbit, inhabited 70% of the Australian mainland. Today, however, because the Bilby only lives in Australia, it's estimated that there are no more than 600 to 700 left in the entire world. Humans destroy their habitats to build housing developments. Domestic animals such as cats and dogs have killed them off, and cattle from farms have taken over their land, their burrows, and their water supply. Like the koala, the bilby is listed as vulnerable. But things are far worse for the Tasmanian devil, which is classified as endangered. Now, the Tasmanian devil has for centuries been affected by environmental factors such as the logging and land clearing of its forest habitat. However, in 1996, an even greater threat emerged, one that threatened their very existence. Devil facial tumor disease. This cancerous disease has spread like wildfire, and in the last 20 years, there has been an 80% decrease in sightings of the Tasmanian devil, an 80% drop. And while the cause of this disease is still unknown, there remains one disease-free region where the Tasmanian devil can survive in refuge. And these forests need our protection. Now, the Wilderness Society works to fight against land clearing and mining. And they work to protect the national parks and forests, and they work with legislation to ensure there are proper laws in place to protect the environment. I've created postcards that are on your clipboards, and I encourage you all to follow along and support this cause. I also encourage you to share a link on your social media or send out a blast to your various email contacts. And there's additional postcards in the back for you to take with you as well. Now, while there's no guarantee that supporting the Wilderness Society will prevent the extinction of these and many other creatures, it is all but certain that if we do nothing, they will not survive. So come this July, when I'm running the Australian Outback Marathon, I will be running for a cause. And I ask you all,